The vast exploration fleet of the Galactic Empire emerged from hyperspace, its colossal warships casting long shadows over the uncharted solar system. For millennia, the Empire had peacefully integrated countless worlds into its benevolent dominion, bringing the gifts of advanced technology and culture to primitive civilizations across the galaxy. On the bridge of the flagship Supreme Dominator, Commander Xyloth gazed out at the small, unremarkable planet that had captured the Empire's interest. Sensors had detected primitive radio transmissions originating from the third planet, a clear sign of intelligent life. Xyloth allowed himself a small smile. This would be a routine first contact mission, just as he had carried out dozens of times before. "Hail the inhabitants and prepare a delegation," Xyloth ordered his crew. "Let us welcome these new subjects into the fold of the Galactic Empire." But as the communication officer's fingers danced across the holographic interface, a sudden burst of static filled the bridge. Xyloth's brow furrowed as an unfamiliar voice, laced with warning, echoed through the speakers. "This is President Elizabeth Hansen of the United Nations of Earth. You have entered sovereign human territory without permission. Withdraw your ships immediately, or be met with overwhelming force." Xyloth's mandibles twitched in confusion. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "I am Commander Xyloth of the Galactic Empire, here to make peaceful first contact. Inform your leaders that they will be integrated into our civilization, effective immediately." But the voice returned, unwavering. "This is your only warning. Leave now or be destroyed." The commander's eyes narrowed. "Primitive fools," he muttered under his breath. Turning to his officers, he barked, "Ready the landing parties. We will make planetfall and bring these humans into compliance, by force if necessary." Within minutes, dozens of sleek Imperial shuttles detached from the warships, their anti-gravity engines humming as they descended towards the blue-green world below. Xyloth watched intently, already imagining the vast potential this new species held for the Empire's continued expansion. But as the shuttles neared the planet's atmosphere, a series of brilliant flashes erupted across the sky. Xyloth's eyes widened in shock as several of the landers were struck by powerful energy beams, their hulls shredding apart in spectacular bursts of flame and debris. "What is happening?" the commander roared. "Hail those ships at once. Demand they stand down or be annihilated." His communication officer's fingers flew across the controls, but all they received in response were the chilling words, "We warned you." More of the Imperial shuttles were torn apart, their occupants incinerated in an instant. Xyloth gripped the arms of his chair, his mandibles quivering with a mixture of rage and bewilderment. How dare these primitive humans defy the Galactic Empire in such a brazen manner? "All ships, prepare for a full-scale planetary assault," the commander bellowed. "We will crush this insurgency and bring these humans to heel." The Imperial fleet surged forward, its vast armada of warships powering up their main weapon systems. Xyloth leaned back in his chair, his eyes burning with determination. No mere mortal civilization would stand in the way of the Galactic Empire's manifest destiny. These humans would learn the true cost of defying their future overlords. As the first barrage of devastating energy beams rained down upon the planet's surface, Xyloth allowed himself a triumphant grin. The Galactic Empire's conquest of this world had begun. President Elizabeth Hansen stood before the United Nations General Assembly, her expression grave as she addressed the gathered leaders of Earth's nations. "Just hours ago, an armada of alien vessels entered our solar system and attacked our military installations," she announced, her voice firm. "These invaders, who call themselves the Galactic Empire, have made it clear that they intend to subjugate our planet and its people under their rule." A murmur of alarm rippled through the assembly hall. Hansen raised a hand, silencing the chatter. "I have made it equally clear to their commander that we will not surrender, nor will we submit to their demands. This is our home, and we will defend it at all costs." Across the globe, citizens watched the president's speech with a mixture of fear and determination. The sight of the massive alien warships hovering over the skies had shaken the world, but Hansen's unwavering resolve had inspired a newfound sense of patriotism and defiance. In the Imperial flagship Supreme Dominator, Commander Zyloth paced the bridge, his mandibles twitching in frustration. The arrogant human leader had refused all attempts at diplomacy, stubbornly clinging to the delusion that her primitive civilization could withstand the might of the Galactic Empire. "These humans are clearly delusional," Zyloth spat. "They have no comprehension of the power we wield. Inform them that they have one final chance to surrender, or we will reduce their planet to ash." The communication officer dutifully relayed the ultimatum, but the response from President Hansen was uncompromising. "The people of Earth will never surrender to your barbaric empire. We have faced extinction before, and we have always prevailed. If you continue your invasion, you will face the full fury of humanity." Zyloth's eyes narrowed. "So be it." He turned to his fleet commander. "Begin the bombardment. Level their cities, their military installations, their very way of life. Show these humans the price of defiance." Across the globe, the skies erupted in a blinding display of destruction as the Imperial warships unleashed a relentless barrage of energy beams and missiles. Major cities crumbled under the onslaught, their towering structures collapsing in spectacular bursts of fire and rubble. Panicked civilians fled in terror as the planet shook with the violence of the assault. But amid the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. In a top-secret research facility, a team of scientists led by Dr. Emily Fitzgerald had been working tirelessly on a revolutionary new weapon, a directed energy beam capable of crippling even the mightiest of Imperial warships. "The time has come," Fitzgerald declared, her eyes burning with determination. "Mobilize the military. We'll show these alien invaders the true power of humanity." Across the armed forces, seasoned veterans and fresh recruits alike answered the call, pouring into hastily erected command centers and airfields. General Michael Everson, a brilliant strategist renowned for his unorthodox tactics, oversaw the deployment of Earth's meager but rapidly expanding arsenal. "Our enemy may have the numbers and the firepower, but we have something far more powerful: the will to survive," Everson told his troops. "This is our home, and we will defend it to the last man." As the Imperial bombardment continued, the human forces began to mobilize, their newly developed weapons systems powering up. Zyloth watched the activity on the planet below with growing unease. Something was not right. These humans were marshaling a defense far more formidable than he had anticipated. "Launch the ground invasion," the commander ordered, his voice tinged with a hint of concern. "Crush their resistance before they can mount a counterattack." Legions of Imperial ground troops descended upon the planet, their massive armored vehicles rumbling across the landscape. But as they neared their objectives, a series of brilliant flashes erupted from the human defenses, crippling and scattering the invading forces. Zyloth's mandibles parted in shock. "Impossible," he roared. "How dare these primitives defy the might of the Galactic Empire?" The human resistance had been joined by an unexpected ally, a powerful directed energy weapon developed by Dr. Fitzgerald's team. As the Imperial troops reeled from the devastating attacks, the commander knew he had underestimated his opponents. The war for Earth had only just begun. The skies over Earth burned with the fury of the Galactic Empire's assault. Massive warships unleashed barrage after barrage of devastating energy beams, reducing cities to rubble and shattering military installations. Panic gripped the global population as they witnessed the awesome power of the invaders. But amid the chaos, the human forces, led by the indomitable General Michael Everson, fought back with determination and ingenuity. Hastily erected defense systems, powered by Dr. Emily Fitzgerald's revolutionary directed energy weapon, lashed out at the Imperial fleet, crippling squadron after squadron of the enemy's most powerful vessels. Zyloth, the commander of the Galactic Empire's invasion, watched the unfolding battle with mounting frustration. These humans were proving far more resilient than he had anticipated, their tenacity and technological prowess catching the mighty Empire off guard. "Intensify the bombardment." Xyloth roared. "Wipe these insects from the face of their pathetic planet." The Imperial warships redoubled their efforts, raining down an unrelenting hail of destruction upon the human defenders. But for every lander they shot down, every military base they leveled, the humans struck back with ever-increasing ferocity. On the ground, General Everson marshaled his forces, deploying advanced aircraft, armored vehicles, and infantry units to counter the Imperial assault. Their weapons, though outmatched in raw power, demonstrated a remarkable ability to pierce the invaders' defenses. These aliens may have superior firepower, but we have something they can never hope to match: the will to protect our home. Everson declared to his troops, "Fight with everything you have, and we will show these invaders the true might of humanity." The human forces surged forward, their barrage of missiles and energy beams carving deep into the ranks of the Imperial ground troops. Confusion and panic began to spread through the invading forces as they found their technological superiority neutralized by the humans' tenacity and resourcefulness. Xyloth watched the battle unfold with growing disbelief. How could these primitives, with their limited technology, hold their own against the might of the Galactic Empire? His mandibles twitched with a mixture of rage and uncertainty. "Send in the heavy assault mechs," the commander ordered, his voice betraying a hint of desperation. "Crush these human insurgents." Massive bipedal war machines, bristling with heavy weaponry, lumbered onto the battlefield, their thunderous footsteps shaking the ground. The human forces braced themselves, knowing they faced an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. But as the Imperial mechs closed in, a new threat emerged from the skies: a swarm of human fighter craft, piloted by some of Earth's most skilled aviators. Weaving through the chaos, they unleashed a barrage of missiles and laser fire, targeting the mech's vulnerable joints and power cores. One by one, the massive war machines toppled, their armored hulls crumbling under the relentless onslaught. Xyloth watched in horror as his invasion force faltered, the humans' unexpected capabilities proving to be their undoing. "Impossible," the commander roared. "How can these humans be defeating us?" General Everson, his eyes burning with triumph, surveyed the battlefield. The tide had turned, and the Galactic Empire's vaunted might was crumbling before the sheer determination of the human defenders. "We will not be conquered," Everson declared, his voice carrying across the communication channels. "This is our home, and we will fight to the last man to protect it. The Galactic Empire has been warned. Humanity will not submit." As the sun set over the ravaged landscape, the human forces celebrated a hard-won victory. But they knew the true test was yet to come. The Galactic Empire would not accept defeat easily, and the war for Earth had only just begun. The news of the human forces' victory against the Galactic Empire's initial assault spread like wildfire across the globe. Inspired by their resilience and triumph, the nations of Earth united under the leadership of President Elizabeth Hanson, pooling their resources and industry to rapidly expand their military capabilities. In a top-secret facility, Dr. Emily Fitzgerald and her team of scientists worked tirelessly to refine and mass-produce the directed energy weapon that had proven so effective against the Imperial warships. Meanwhile, General Michael Everson oversaw the integration of this game-changing technology into the human arsenal, devising new tactics and strategies to maximize its devastating impact. "The Galactic Empire has vastly underestimated us," Everson told his troops. "They thought they could simply overwhelm us with their superior firepower, but we've shown them the true strength of humanity. Now, it's time we take the fight to them." Across the world, factories churned out advanced spacecraft, missiles, and other cutting-edge weapon systems. The once disparate human forces were now a formidable, unified army, ready to confront the Galactic Empire's next assault. Aboard the Imperial flagship Supreme Dominator, Commander Xyloth paced the bridge, his mandibles twitching with a mixture of rage and apprehension. The humiliating defeat of his invasion force had sent shockwaves through the Galactic Empire, and the Emperor himself had summoned Xyloth to account for his failure. You assured me these humans were a primitive, easily conquered civilization. The Emperor growled, his eyes narrowed. Yet they have somehow managed to repel our initial assault. Explain yourself, Commander, before I have you executed for your incompetence. Xyloth swallowed hard, his pride and confidence wavering in the face of the Emperor's wrath. My lord, these humans possess unexpected technological capabilities, as well as an unbreakable will to defend their homeworld. We vastly underestimated their resolve and resourcefulness. The Emperor's eyes flashed with fury. Unacceptable. The Galactic Empire does not suffer defeat at the hands of such insignificant species. You will return to that planet with a force twice the size of your previous invasion, and you will not rest until you have crushed these humans and brought their world into our dominion. It will be done, my lord, Xyloth replied, his voice barely above a tremor. Rallying his battered forces, the commander oversaw the deployment of a massive reinforcement fleet, its armada of warships dwarfing the previous invasion force. Xyloth's mandibles tightened with determination. This time, he would not underestimate the humans. He would crush their resistance and bring their planet to heel, no matter the cost. As the Imperial ships approached Earth, President Hansen addressed the people of the world, her expression resolute. My fellow citizens, the Galactic Empire has returned with a vengeance. They seek to subjugate our planet and enslave us under their tyrannical rule. But we have proven that we are not to be taken lightly. We have tasted victory against these invaders, and now it is time to show them the full might of humanity. Across the globe, the human forces readied themselves for the impending battle, their morale buoyed by Hansen's stirring words. General Everson oversaw the final preparations, his eyes burning with determination. This is our moment, soldiers, Everson declared. We will meet the Galactic Empire's forces head-on, and we will not back down. For Earth, and for the future of our species. As the Imperial warships unleashed their devastating bombardment, the human defenses sprang into action. Squadrons of advanced fighter craft took to the skies, while ground-based energy weapons pounded the invading fleet. And at the heart of the human counterattack was Dr. Fitzgerald's revolutionary directed energy weapon, now mass-produced and ready to unleash its devastating power. Xyloth watched in horror as the first wave of his invasion force was decimated, the human weaponry tearing through the Imperial ships with ease. Panic began to set in among his troops, their confidence shaken by the ferocity of the human resistance. No, the commander roared. We will not be denied victory. Mobilize the heavy assault forces. Crush these humans, no matter the cost. The Galactic Empire's might was about to be tested once more, as the battle for Earth reached a critical juncture. The future of humanity hung in the balance. The skies above Earth burned with the fury of the Galactic Empire's renewed assault. Massive warships blanketed the planet with a relentless barrage of devastation, their powerful energy beams shattering cities and obliterating human defenses. But this time, the human forces were ready. Squadrons of advanced fighter craft, piloted by the most skilled aviators Earth had to offer, engaged the Imperial warships in a series of intense dogfights. Weaving through the chaos, they unleashed a hail of missiles and laser fire, targeting the enemy's vulnerable systems. On the ground, the human military's arsenal of directed energy weapons lashed out at the invading force, crippling and disabling even the mightiest of the Empire's warships. General Michael Everson's tactical brilliance was on full display as he coordinated the intricate dance of air and ground forces, capitalizing on every weakness in the Imperial onslaught. Commander Xyloth, his mandibles twitching with fury, watched helplessly as his reinforced invasion force was steadily whittled down. The humans' technological prowess and unwavering determination were proving to be an insurmountable challenge, despite the overwhelming power of the Galactic Empire. How is this possible? The commander roared, slamming his fist against the holographic display. We outnumber them, we outgun them, yet they continue to resist. Beside him, the fleet commander's expression was grim. It would appear these humans have developed countermeasures to our most advanced weaponry. Their defenses are proving too formidable to overcome. Xyloth's eyes narrowed, his pride and confidence beginning to crumble. "Retreat," he growled. "Order all ships to withdraw from the system immediately." The Empire's warships, their hulls scared and smoking, began a hasty retreat, their jump drives activating as they fled the human onslaught. President Hansen, watching from the command center, allowed herself a rare smile. "They're running," she said, triumph evident in her voice. The Galactic Empire has tasted defeat at the hands of humanity. But Hansen's moment of celebration was short-lived. She knew the Empire would not accept this humiliation easily. They would regroup, they would rebuild, and they would return with even greater force. "Prepare our defenses," the President ordered, her expression hardening. This is only the beginning. Across the globe, the human forces began to mobilize, their industries working at a feverish pace to expand their military capabilities even further. Dr. Emily Fitzgerald's team of scientists continued their research, driven by the knowledge that the Galactic Empire would not rest until Earth was brought to heel. In the Imperial flagship Supreme Dominator, Commander Xyloth knelt before the towering holographic image of the Galactic Emperor, his head bowed in shame. "My lord, I have failed you," Xyloth stammered, his voice trembling. "The humans have managed to repel our invasion force. Their defenses were too formidable, their will to fight too unbreakable." The Emperor's eyes narrowed, his displeasure palpable. "You disappoint me, Commander. I entrusted you with the task of subjugating this insignificant species, and you have returned to me in defeat." Xyloth dared not lift his gaze. "Forgive me, my lord. It will not happen again. I will return to Earth with a force so overwhelming that no human resistance will be able to stand against us." The Emperor's lips curled into a sneer. "See that you do, Commander. The Galactic Empire does not tolerate failure. Bring me the head of this President Hansen, and do not return until you have conquered that wretched planet." "It will be done, my lord," Xyloth murmured, his mandibles trembling. "I will not rest until the humans have been crushed, and Earth has been brought into the fold of the Galactic Empire." As the transmission ended, the commander turned to his fleet, his eyes burning with determination. Failure was not an option. This time, he would not underestimate the humans. This time, he would bring the full might of the Galactic Empire to bear, and nothing would stand in his way. In the wake of the Galactic Empire's retreat, the nations of Earth united under the resolute leadership of President Elizabeth Hansen, determined to fortify their defenses against the inevitable return of the Imperial forces. "We have won a battle, but the war is far from over," Hansen declared to the United Nations General Assembly. "The Galactic Empire will not rest until they have subjugated our world and brought us under their tyrannical rule. We must be ready when they return." Across the globe, industries and research facilities worked tirelessly to expand the human military's capabilities. New advanced spacecraft, weapons systems, and defensive technologies were rapidly developed and deployed, transforming Earth into an imposing fortress. At the forefront of these efforts was Dr. Emily Fitzgerald, the brilliant scientist whose revolutionary directed energy weapon had proven so crucial in the previous conflict. Her team, bolstered by an influx of resources and personnel, pushed the boundaries of their research, determined to create even more powerful and versatile tools for the defense of humanity. "We can't just rely on our current technology," Fitzgerald said, her brow furrowed in concentration. "The Galactic Empire will only come back stronger. We need to stay one step ahead of them to ensure our victory." General Michael Everson, the architect of the human force's previous triumphs, oversaw the integration of these new systems into a comprehensive defensive strategy. He worked closely with military leaders from around the world, coordinating the deployment of air, land, and space-based assets to create a multi-layered shield against the impending Imperial onslaught. "We've shown the Galactic Empire that we will not go down without a fight," Everson told his troops. "But now we must go on the offensive. We will strike at the heart of their empire and show them the true power of humanity." As the human forces prepared for war, President Hansen reached out to other intelligent species in the galaxy, forging strategic alliances and sharing their technological advances. The humans knew that they could not face the Galactic Empire alone, and sought to build a coalition of allies who shared their desire for freedom and self-determination. "The Galactic Empire's reach extends far beyond our world," Hansen said, her voice carrying an edge of urgency. "If we are to defeat them, we must unite with others who have suffered under their oppressive rule. Together, we will show them that the era of their dominance is coming to an end." Across the stars, the news of the humans' triumph against the Imperial forces spread rapidly, igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of those who had long lived under the Galactic Empire's shadow. Worlds that had once resigned themselves to submission now rallied to the call of the humans, eager to join the fight for their own liberation. As the human forces continued to bolster their defenses, Commander Xyloth returned to the Galactic Emperor, his mandibles twitching with a mixture of trepidation and determination. "My lord, I have returned with a reinforced invasion fleet, twice the size of the previous force," Xyloth reported, his voice barely concealing his anxiety. "This time, we will crush the human resistance and bring their planet into the fold of the Galactic Empire." The Emperor's eyes narrowed, his expression unreadable. "See that you do, Commander. Failure is not an option. The humans have cost us too much already, and I will not tolerate any further humiliation." Xyloth bowed his head, his heart racing. "It will be done, my lord. I will not return until Earth has been conquered, and their so-called President Hansen has been brought before you in chains." As the transmission ended, Xyloth turned to his fleet, his mandibles set in a determined grimace. The Galactic Empire would not be denied its prize. This time, he would be the victor, no matter the cost. The skies above Earth trembled as the Galactic Empire's massive invasion fleet emerged from the void of space, its towering warships blotting out the sun. Commander Xyloth stood on the bridge of the Supreme Dominator, his mandibles twitching with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. "This time, there will be no defeat," he growled, his eyes narrowed. "Order all ships to commence the bombardment. Raise their cities, crush their defenses, and bring me the head of President Hansen." A barrage of devastating energy beams rained down upon the planet, shattering human cities and military installations with ease. The human defenders scrambled to respond, their advanced fighter craft taking to the skies, and their ground-based directed energy weapons lashing out at the invading fleet. But the Galactic Empire had learned from its previous mistakes. Vast squadrons of elite assault troops and heavily armored mechanized units descended upon the planet, determined to overwhelm the human resistance through sheer force of numbers and firepower. General Everson, his brow furrowed with concentration, coordinated the human counterattack with unwavering precision. Guided by the intelligence gathered from their previous encounters, he deployed his forces in a series of intricate maneuvers, exploiting the weaknesses in the Imperial onslaught. "Hold the line," Everson roared into the communication channel. "We've beaten them once, and we'll do it again." The clash of the two mighty forces shook the very foundations of the planet, as the skies erupted in a maelstrom of laser fire, missiles, and the deafening roar of exploding warships. Xyloth watched the battle unfold, his mandibles tightening in frustration as the human defenses stubbornly held their ground. "Impossible," the commander hissed. "How can they continue to resist us?" Aboard the human command center, President Hansen stood resolute, her eyes burning with determination. "We will not be conquered," she declared. "The Galactic Empire has underestimated us for the last time. Today, we show them the true power of humanity." At that moment, a brilliant flash of light erupted across the battlefield, as Dr. Fitzgerald's directed energy weapon unleashed a devastating salvo against the Imperial fleet. Warships were ripped apart, their hulls disintegrating under the intense barrage. Xyloth's eyes widened in horror as he watched his invasion force crumble before the human onslaught. "No," he roared. "This cannot be happening." Panic began to spread through the Imperial ranks, their confidence shaken by the ferocity of the human resistance. General Everson seized the opportunity, launching a relentless counterattack that pushed the invaders back, inflicting heavy casualties. For Earth, the human soldiers chanted, their voices rising in a defiant chorus. The battle raged on, with both sides pouring every ounce of their strength into the conflict. The very fabric of the solar system shook under the strain of the titanic struggle, as the future of humanity hung in the balance. Finally, after hours of intense fighting, the Galactic Empire's forces began to falter, their once mighty warships reduced to smoldering wrecks. Xyloth watched in disbelief as his invasion force crumbled, his mandibles quivering with a mixture of rage and despair. This cannot be," the commander whispered, his voice barely audible. "The Galactic Empire does not lose." But the humans had proven their mettle, their determination and ingenuity overcoming the invaders' technological superiority. As the last of the Imperial ships retreated into the void of space, President Hansen raised a fist in triumph, her eyes shining with pride. "We have won the day, my fellow citizens," she declared, her voice carrying across the communication channels. "The Galactic Empire has been defeated, and Earth remains free." A thunderous roar of celebration echoed across the globe, as the people of Earth rejoiced in their hard-won victory. But Hansen knew that this was not the end of the conflict. The Galactic Empire would not accept this humiliation easily, and they would doubtless return with even greater force. "Prepare our defenses," the President ordered, her expression turning resolute. "The war for our freedom has only just begun." The skies over Earth had fallen silent, save for the occasional plume of smoke and the distant rumble of damaged Imperial warships making their hasty retreat. President Elizabeth Hansen stood at the command center, her eyes fixed on the devastated landscape. A mixture of pride and apprehension etched across her features. "The Galactic Empire has been defeated," she announced, her voice carrying across the communication channels. "But we must remain vigilant. They will not accept this humiliation easily, and they will surely return with even greater force." Around the world, the people of Earth celebrated their hard-won victory, their cheers and chants of triumph echoing through the streets. The human forces, led by the indomitable General Michael Everson, had proven their mettle against the might of the Imperial onslaught, their resilience and ingenuity overcoming the invaders' technological superiority. At the heart of the human victory stood Dr. Emily Fitzgerald, the brilliant scientist whose revolutionary directed energy weapon had played a crucial role in crippling the Galactic Empire's warships. As the celebrations unfolded, Fitzgerald stood apart, her brow furrowed with concern. "This is only the beginning," she murmured, her gaze fixed on the distant horizon. "The Galactic Empire will not rest until they have conquered our world and brought us to heel." Across the galaxy, the news of the humans' triumph had spread like wildfire, igniting a spark of hope in the hearts of those who had long suffered under the Galactic Empire's oppressive rule. Worlds that had once resigned themselves to submission now rallied to the call of the humans, eager to join the fight for their own liberation. President Hansen, sensing the growing tide of support, reached out to these newfound allies, forging strategic alliances and sharing the advanced technologies that had proven so crucial in their defense against the Imperial invasion. "The Galactic Empire's reach extends far beyond our world," Hansen said, her voice carrying a tone of unwavering determination. "Together, we will show them that the era of their dominance is coming to an end." In the Imperial flagship Supreme Dominator, a shaken and humiliated Commander Xyloth knelt before the towering holographic image of the Galactic Emperor, his mandibles trembling with a mixture of fear and shame. "My lord, I have failed you," Xyloth stammered, his eyes downcast. "The humans have dealt us a devastating defeat. Their defenses were too formidable, their will to fight too unbreakable." The Emperor's eyes narrowed, his displeasure palpable. "Unacceptable, Commander. The Galactic Empire does not tolerate failure, especially not at the hands of such a primitive species." Xyloth swallowed hard, bracing himself for the consequences of his defeat. "Forgive me, my lord. I will not rest until I have personally led the forces that will conquer the humans and their wretched planet. This I swear to you." The Emperor regarded the commander for a long, tense moment, his expression unreadable. "See that you do, Xyloth. Bring me the head of President Hansen and restore the honor of the Galactic Empire. If you fail again, your life will be the price." As the transmission ended, Xyloth rose, his mandibles set in a determined grimace. He would not underestimate the humans this time. He would marshal the full might of the Galactic Empire and crush their resistance, no matter the cost. Back on Earth, the human forces continued to fortify their defenses, bolstered by the support of their newfound allies. Dr. Fitzgerald's team worked tirelessly to enhance the capabilities of their directed energy weapons, while General Everson oversaw the deployment of advanced spacecraft and ground-based defensive systems. "We have won a great victory today," Everson told his troops. "But the war is far from over. The Galactic Empire will return, and when they do, we must be ready to face them head-on." President Hansen, her eyes shining with determination, addressed the gathered leaders of the human and allied forces. "The Galactic Empire has learned a hard lesson today, that humanity will not be conquered, that we will fight with every fiber of our being to defend our freedom. And now, the time has come to take the fight to them, to show them the true power of our alliance." As the sun set over the ravaged landscape, the people of Earth looked to the stars, their hearts filled with a renewed sense of purpose and pride. They had stood firm against the might of the Galactic Empire, and they knew that the true test was yet to come. But in that moment, they were unafraid, for they had tasted victory, and they knew that they could do it again.